Welcome to the Queen's Table Podcast. I am your host, Marissa J, and today I'm back. Yay! All right, so where the fuck have you been, Marissa? Well, let me tell you where I've been. I have been working on Marissa. I've been working on myself. So, little bit of a trigger warning here. If you are not dealing with mental illness in a way that you should be, this might be a trigger. So, just FYI, mental health. Okay, it's not anything super crazy. Well, I should probably a poor choice of words there. But yeah, okay, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's just stop beating around the bush. A couple of weeks ago, about a month or so ago, let me take that back. For the last several years, I've been going through some shit. Okay? Like some real, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. Sorry about that. So I've been going through some shit. What I've been going through, not really anybody's business, but trust me when I tell you, it's a lot of shit. And I felt myself kind of spiraling. And I know signs of depression, which I'm aware that I do get depressed at times. And when I do, it gets pretty bad. But this particular event, or these chain of events that happened, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. And you guys, if you know me, you know that I like to handle things by myself. I like to handle things internally because I think I'm Superwoman and I can handle everything that comes at me. Well, little known fact, I can't. So, just like your vehicle, the transmission goes out in your car. You're not going to sit there hopefully you're not going to sit there and ignore it. You're going to take it to the mechanic, right? And get it worked on. Well, that's what I did. I took myself to a brain mechanic and I had to get a little workup done. So, I admitted myself into an inpatient psychiatric facility. Yep. Dun, dun, dun. Sounds like super scary, right? Totally wasn't. When I realized that I was kind of spiraling and realizing that things might end up worse than what they've ever been before, and that I needed some guidance to kind of figure out what was going on, I, did all of the stuff that I needed to do, took care of bills and all of that stuff. And I checked myself in. Yeah. Yeah. I was at a mental health facility. I took a grippy sock vacation, guys. That's what happened. So, right now I am currently in an outpatient treatment thing. It's partial hospitalization. You just go from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's like really super intense therapy. And then after that, go to another program for a few weeks. And then after that, it'll just be knocked down to seeing a regular therapist. Now, the thing about it is this: I have never done anything like this before. I tell people all the time, if you know that there's something going on and you ignore it, that's not really doing yourself a favor. You're doing yourself a disservice by ignoring all of the things that you know are signs that could be pointing towards some mental health issues. So, While I was there for 5 days, I believe. So while I was there, I did find out that I have a severe vitamin D deficiency, which I want to talk a little bit about that. I'll talk about all of this stuff, but severe vitamin D deficiency. I found out that my B12 was off. Now, these are the chemical things. That's the chemical stuff, can be fixed with the shot, can be fixed with some, supplements. That's great. Awesome. Wonderful. But then I found out that I have a mental health diagnosis. I'm sorry if I'm coughing a lot. The weather here is kind of wonky. So there's that. No, I don't have COVID again. But so yeah. So as far as the mental health diagnoses, it's not diagnosi. That's silly. Anyway, as far as the mental health stuff goes, I have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and major depression. Now, after speaking with the therapist there, the psychiatrist, I don't want to say which hospital I was at, but I will say this. They were amazing. They were absolutely wonderful. Everyone had a team of people. I worked with a social worker, a couple of psychiatrists, a few nurses. They were absolutely wonderful. But while I was speaking with them, and I asked them, so what's my diagnosis after a few days? And they told me PTSD. I'm like, huh. They were like, yeah, you've been dealing with that for a long time. And because I've been dealing with PTSD since childhood, I've incorporated that into my everyday life. And because I've never been diagnosed before until now, I didn't know that some of the things that I've went through was not normal. So there was a lot of stuff in my childhood, a lot of stuff in my adolescence, but the major stuff was with my ex in my 20s. And that whole thing just really solidified some toxic and irrational behaviors. I'm not putting the blame on any one person, but I'm just saying that these are the things that culminated, and now we're here. So, PTSD, what is it? We'll get to that. Actually, you know what? Let's make that the next episode. We're going to dig all the way into the PTSD probably next episode. But I really want to talk about the vitamin D deficiency. So, where do we get the vitamin D from? Sunlight. When I checked myself in, it was in January. What's going on in January, guys? Wintertime. And although Tennessee has some really wonky weather, it's not super sunny all day, every day. We may have like a day or two where it's, 80 degrees in the middle of winter, but that's not every day. What my team explained to me was that a lot of people of color, Black women, listen up, a lot of people of color go through what's called seasonal depression. I don't particularly have seasonal depression, but that's where the vitamin D deficiency comes from. You're not going outside, you're not getting those great sun rays, and so you're not getting enough of vitamin D. And that lack of vitamin D can lead to depression. So, I am taking some vitamin D3 supplements. I have to be on those for the next couple of months because it's very deficient. I'm not saying every winter go out and get a whole bunch of vitamin D. Definitely speak with your doctor about it, especially if you notice that during winter months, you tend to get a little sad. Seasonal depression. So that's where that comes in at. B12, my dad has a B12 deficiency. And, like that's a thing that I've known that I need to stay on top of during my pregnancies. But after my last child, I haven't thought about that in a long time. And sometimes if your B12 can get low enough, if you're deficient enough, it can present some psychosis. Now, I wasn't presenting any type of psychosis symptoms. I wasn't hearing things or seeing things or anything like that, but it could have been a real thing that could have happened had I not have gone and gotten myself worked up. So, the importance of staying on top of your physical health is just as important as staying on top of your mental health. Again, I had never done anything like this before. I had no idea that I had any type of mental illness, but I do. Major depression and PTSD. Major depression can be brought on by the PTSD and not knowing how to deal with that. And so, yeah. Yeah, it's been a real roller coaster. But I am happy to say that, I was able to go out and get myself taken care of. And I'm still working on that. I'm still getting myself taken care of. We tend to stigmatize receiving help for your mental health. We tend to use that as a weapon against people, and it really shouldn't be. We say all the time, mental illnesses are the same as any other kind of illness like diabetes or, high blood pressure. It's just another illness. It's just an illness in your brain. And because the brain is so complex and we have so many different hormones that are firing off and all of this stuff happening within our brains, not just our bodies, but just our brains, we think we know what's going on, but we don't really know what's going on. We don't really know. So I've been kind of back and forth on whether or not to speak on this podcast, because I know that there are a lot of people that hate listen to this. So that's one thing. I know that there's people out there that would love to use this as ammunition against me. What other people think of you is really none of your business. I feel as though if I'm open and I'm able to talk about this kind of stuff with you guys, that hopefully it can kind of help someone else to go out and get the help that they need. I will say this. Definitely research the facility that you go to before you go there. I called and I had, some basic questions. I wish that I had asked a little bit more. They don't do things the way that they used to way back in the day. I was anticipating staying for a couple of months. I also was anticipating being able to smoke while I'm there. I was anticipating a lot of stuff, and it turned out not to be that way. Generally speaking, nowadays, they don't hold people any longer than 3 to 5 days. Sometimes you may be in there 7 days. There was one person that was in there up to 9 days. That person was receiving a lot of other types of therapy, and it was a lot going on there. But they really want to be able to get you in, figure out what's going on, and get you out and get you the help that you need. So if you're thinking about going, just know that you're not going to be there, indefinitely. The next thing is that I thought that this was going to be one of the type of places where, you can go outside and maybe possibly have a cigarette or two. Nah, not at all. Completely smoke-free campus. So if you're a smoker, definitely figure that out before you go. I did pack a bag, like I said, I admit it myself. So it's not like I was going in there with absolutely nothing. You want to be prepared. Definitely want to be prepared. You can bring a book or two. I did bring my crocheting stuff so that I could crochet things. I brought my yarn and my crochet hook. Be aware that some places may not allow that. They may not allow crochet hooks or yarn, especially very strong and thick yarn. They take your shoelaces. Come on. You're not going to be able to bring, yarn up in there unless you ask. So definitely make a list, kind of see what you're looking at here before you go. But if you're dealing with some shit, absolutely 100% go and get some help and make sure that you research the facilities beforehand. Luckily, I was, in the right mindset of, okay, I know my patterns. I know that once X, Y, and Z start to happen, I get super depressed, and then everything just kind of goes downhill from there. If you're able to notice these signs, or if friends and family are noticing these signs with you, definitely go and talk to somebody. At least, and I feel everybody, black, white, male, female, everybody could benefit from seeing a therapist, especially after 2020. I honestly cannot believe anybody that says that their mental health is at 100% after 2020. It's just, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. I think everyone could benefit from seeing someone, but especially us black folks. We really need to get in there and see somebody because there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit going on. I came in there with the mindset of when they told me that I had major depression, I kind of deal with a lot of my trauma through making jokes and kind of goofing around, which is what I did. But when they told me I had major depression, I'm like, as opposed to what? Minor depression? Listen, I came in completely thinking one thing and came out with a completely different mindset. So go in with an open mind and just take care of yourself. Next episode, we're going to get into a little bit of PTSD. And then these next few episodes, we're going to talk a lot about mental health. It's going to be mental health awareness. Also, happy Black History Month. Yeah, it's our time, guys. All right. So make sure that you are staying healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. And I'll catch y'all on the flip side. That's it. Bye.